What happened?
I don't know. I think you hung up.
No,
Are you sure?
absolutely.
No,
You
I'm
told me
kidding.
that
It's
we.
probably my connection. Oh, now I have to read that whole thing again.
Oh, you had it written down?
Well, yeah, kind of.
Mm.
Could you not tell then that I was reading?
Um,
Something. Then? Okay, ready?
yes.
Hey everyone, this is David Black, and I'm here today with a very special guest, author and dating coach, Eva Weisberg. I pronounced that right that time.
Yeah, this time you did.
She has recently published her first book, Get a Girl, Buy a Girl. I've read it and I highly recommend it. You can find it on Amazon both for the Kindle and in paperback form. Not only is Eva sexy and intelligent, as I'm sure you'll see, she also has a very rare ability to observe and eloquently describe the emotions and thoughts that go on inside a woman's mind when interacting with a man. Very few girls are able to self-analyze on this level. She also does a really mean duck face, and I've seen that in person. And if you're the kind of guy that is interested in what will make an intelligent, creative, arty type girl attracted to you, then I recommend you listen to what Eva has to say. Eva, hello and welcome.
Hello. Well, that's a very cool description of me, except for the duck face.
She says she doesn't do a duck face, but every girl does a duck face and she just doesn't realize.
What is actually a duck face? Is it like that?
Yeah, that's it. I can see her on the camera and she's doing it right now. It's horrendous. Almost as bad as when a girl holds a beer can up to the camera.
No,
Just as
you're really
sexy as that.
funny.
Okay, Eva, tell us a little bit about how you got into giving dating advice and what motivated you to write a book on the subject for guys.
Okay. Well, I was always interested in psychology, and I went to a lot of meetings and seminars, and I did a lot of self-education and went to a lot of courses. So eventually I started giving dating advice to my friends, then friends of friends, then to some
Friends that
other
were guys.
friends of friends, all kinds of friends. I was giving advice to men and women.
Okay.
And eventually, I got offered a job as a dating consultant at the university because, there are a lot of crazy things going on in student society. And then I became a little bit more famous in my city, so I started writing for local magazines and newspapers and giving advice to all kinds of people, not just the students.
Okay.
And well, I'm originally from Russia, from Siberia, but please don't ask me the question about bears on the streets.
Oh
We
yeah, I've
don't.
seen that video recently. Yeah. Yeah, was it a bear or a tiger? Something.
Yeah,
But
something
yeah,
like that, a Siberian tiger. Uh,
the only
and
thing I know about Siberia is from this motorbike program. You might have heard of it with Ewan McGregor, Long Way Round. Have you heard of
uh,
this? Where they travel all across Europe, all across Russia, and across the United States on motorbikes.
mm,
And you might not have seen it. It's a UK thing, so it's probably not very famous outside of the UK.
yeah,
But
probably,
I'm
but
very much into motorbikes myself, so it's a big thing. Sorry, I'll let you talk. Go on.
yeah. So then after a while, I moved to Norway to continue my studies and to work. And actually, they make a lot of jokes about Norway as well, that there are bears on the street. So I feel much at home.
And
And
that's where you live now, Norway.
yeah, that's where I'm now in
Okay.
Oslo. So just for all the stalkers. So I got a really good friend here, and he's been single basically forever. He's a great guy, and but he's very shy and he doesn't know how to behave around girls.
Yeah.
So every time I met him, he would be asking me, "So what can I do to get a girlfriend? You seem so popular. Give me some advice." And then I just got this idea to write a book. I didn't make up this story; it's actually true.
No, it's cool. Quite often
And
that's how it comes about. That's
yeah,
very similar to how I got into it as well, giving people advice and then all of a sudden you're like, well, maybe I should write some of this down or put some of this down permanently so I can help more people. Is
hmm,
that kind of how you felt as well?
yeah, more or less. But first, I did it just for him. I did it for his birthday.
Oh, did you?
And he really appreciated it, of course, because it was such a personal present.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
very nice.
some of his friends read it, some of my friends read it. And then once I went to a student book party, and I met a guy who wanted to be a publisher. So I gave my book to him, and he really liked it as well. So that's how I met Alexander Gray, who is also my editor. Just in case I make some silly mistakes, because I'm
No,
not a native speaker. Yeah, and
we
that's
can't
basically
tell.
how it happened.
Okay, no, cool, that's good. So where, going back to your like your initial interest in psychology,
Mhm.
where do you think that comes from?
I think it might come from my family because my family is very arty or artsy, how do you say it? Uh,
Artistic, yeah, arty,
yeah,
yeah.
and my grannish is an actress,
Uh,
and my mother is a psychologist. My father is a journalist. We always had a lot of people in our house, a lot of, well, artists and psychologists and actors, all kinds of people. And I was always into this atmosphere.
so
This,
did they encourage you to be inquisitive when you were younger
I
and
think
to,
so.
yeah,
I was reading books all my life, and I think I started reading books on psychology about 10 years ago, and then I just got so fascinated by this, and I kept reading about everything, personal development,
yeah.
um,
It's the
relate.
kind of field once you get started reading, you just
Yeah,
find out there's
it is.
so much. It's so fascinating. You just get lost in it, don't you?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Next question. Then, from reading your book, it sounds like you've seen a lot of things guys do that really put women off. What's the worst thing a guy can do in your eyes when trying to attract a girl?
Okay, let me think. For me, there are three things that are really, really bad. First one is lack of confidence. I think we all know how confidence is very important for us, and
Yeah.
confidence is just extremely sexy. So when I see a guy who's not confident, who's kind of shy and he doesn't know what he wants, he doesn't know what to say, I feel bad for him. I want to help him. I want to be
Mm.
his friend, but I just don't fancy him.
Yeah, of
Um,
course. Do you think it almost brings out like kind of a bit of an instinct of like, oh, I want to help him in kind of a mothering kind of sense? You know what I mean?
because if a guy is nice otherwise, but just not confident, you still want to be friends with him, because why not? But you just don't fancy him. I think that's how a lot of girls work.
Yeah. Another thing with guys that aren't very confident that I certainly notice when a guy comes up to me and talks to me and he's not making eye contact,
Mhm.
he's always very nervous body language and looking at the ground and just you can tell he's really really nervous. Is it reminds me of my own insecurities as well? Do you find that as a girl, if a guy comes up to you and is really nervous, it makes you more nervous yourself?
Um, it depends. It really depends, but either it makes me more nervous around him as well. I just don't feel as comfortable, or I just want to protect him. He's like a little boy who needs some help and
Yeah.
protects. And it can be very cute in a way, but I just don't fancy him.
Yeah, it's cute in a way like a puppy is cute, but not in
Mhm.
a way of like Brad
Yeah.
Pitt is cute. Yeah.
Another thing that really puts me off is posing, trying to seem better than you are and just trying to be so cool and show that you're having so much fun. And I think it's really off-putting, if you can say so.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, here's a question then. How can you tell if a guy is genuine or if he's posing? How can you tell the difference? Like you personally as a girl.
Well, I have this article on my site. It's about the difference between calm and loud confidence. I think the guy who is really seriously confident and is not putting on a show, he would rather have calm confidence.
Oh,
He's
okay.
not gonna tell about all the girls he fucked, okay, he slept with. And
We'll have to censor that out, I think.
yeah,
Not really. You
he's
can
not
swear
gonna
as much as you like. I think it's quite sexy here in Russian
uh,
swear.
as long as it's just for guys, I think it's okay. And that's another thing that's really unsexy when a guy trying to impress you, he tells you about all the exes that he has and how they still want him back and how many female friends he has, and they also all want him so badly. And I know why guys do it. They do it because they want to seem popular to the girl and they want to seem like they're having so much fun and they don't have any problems meeting girls and they're
Yeah.
so cool and everybody loves them. But for me, just it really puts me off because, well, there are several things here. First, it's still lack of confidence because if you're confident, you don't need to talk about such things.
Yeah.
And second, I'm just thinking, okay, you have all these exes who want you back. You have all these female friends who want you like anytime. It just, where is the place for me? I want to be the only one and I want to feel special and, oh, you know what I mean.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I guess should stop doing that.
Ah,
No, I'm
you
only
still
kidding.
do
I'm
it.
only kidding. I never talk about those kind of things. Okay, right. If you had to name only one thing a guy that could do that would really impress you or make you go weak at the knees, what would it be?
Okay, can there be two things?
No, there can be only one. That's the whole point of the question.
Only
You can
one.
say two, really, if you want.
Okay, if it has to be only one, let's make it confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence is extremely sexy, and it's not that hard to develop in yourself. You don't have to be born confident. You can really work on it, and you can learn it. You can become confident. And
Okay, just before you say the second one, what do you think's a good way that guys listening could get more confidence?
I know there is a lot of exercise that help you develop confidence. I don't think that just telling yourself, I'm so confident, I'm so cool, I'm so gorgeous, I don't think it's going to work for most people
Hmm.
because a lot of people, well, they're quite critical of themselves and it's just going to sound silly. But for some category of people, it still will work. For me, it works once in a while. But I think there are a lot of exercise that you can do. You can basically pretend that you're this version of yourself that you want to be in the future,
Yeah,
and
your
you can
ideal self.
try, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. It's an exercise that a lot of actors use before playing their roles, and it really works.
So how do you
And
do that? You imagine how you want to be in the future.
yes, you imagine yourself basically, but a better version of yourself, more confident, better looking, and so on. And then you think, well, if, uh, for example, it will be 5 years from now, and if I already was like this, how would it be? How would I feel? How would I talk? How would I walk? What would I do right now? And then you just try to do it, treat it as a game, try it for
Okay.
half an hour, and then it will be so exciting you won't want to stop.
Yeah, because you'll imagine yourself like that, and you'll become what you imagine as well.
Yes, and it
Yeah.
always works like this. There are
Yeah.
a lot of studies that prove it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so what was the second thing that you're not allowed, but you can say anyway?
Oh, almost forgot it.
Mm.
The second thing is, I really, really like when a guy is not afraid to show that he's really into me, that he wants me, that he likes me, that
Okay.
he adores me. I think it's great when a guy is not afraid because, a lot of guys, they try to seem cool. So they don't show how much they actually like you. And they pretend that they have so many girls around and you're not the only one. And they have so much stuff going on for them. So they don't really care. But and then I think, well, if you don't care, why would I care? But when a guy really shows me that he's into me, that he tries to help me, that he's interested in more than just sex, I really fall for it.
Yeah, sure. And what's the best way a guy can do that, can let you know that
Um,
for you?
I think a guy should listen to the girl he likes. He should first try to develop a friendship with her. Of course, if he's looking for a serious relationship and not just fun. But in any case, even if you're just looking for fun, try to concentrate on the person, not on her boobs and her ass, but on her personality. Because even if you don't get a relationship with this girl, even if you don't get a one night stand, maybe you will still develop a wonderful friendship. Maybe it will
Yeah.
last forever. And
And there's
I
more
think,
to girls than boobs and asses, so I've been told anyway.
yeah, it's nice that you mentioned it.
Okay, next question then. Yeah, in your book you talk about giving compliments. This ties quite well into what you just said, actually. How can guys give meaningful, genuine compliments without coming across cheesy or like a pervert?
I like a pervert.
Yeah,
I
like
like
nice boobs.
Yeah, okay. The first rule is don't get too drunk. Like if you're in a bar in some
This is
party.
funny coming from a girl that's drinking beer.
Yeah, just let me take a sip.
That's sexy.
Yeah, so don't
I can
get too
smell your
drunk.
breath from here, I think.
Oh, don't make me laugh. I still need to answer the questions.
Go on, compose
So,
yourself.
so don't get too drunk, or else there is a big chance that you will say something stupid that you might regret.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
never done that ever.
really? Oh, that's great. You could
It's
make an
bullshit.
example of
It's
remaining
complete
guys.
bullshit. Of course I've done it. Every guy has done that.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
And another important thing is if you just met a girl, don't make the compliment sexual. Don't talk about her breasts and her ass and how much she arouses you and how she drives you crazy. And then don't offer, well, okay, let's should go into the interview, but I can tell you, don't say something like, "Oh, you drive me wild. Do you want to touch my cock?" Happened to me a couple of times, and
Is it?
I really don't see
What?
it as
How
sexy.
soon after they've met you have they said this?
Yeah, because they were drunk, that's the thing.
Within the first couple of minutes, was this?
I know within the first half an hour.
Half an hour. It's still quite soon, isn't it? That's
Yes.
really
So
that's really stepping on the gas and moving things forward
personally, I
rapidly.
really, honestly, I wasn't impressed.
No,
I
obviously
it's,
not.
it's not my thing. So don't make it too sexual. You can
Okay,
rather. Say,
I've got a question about that then. What if you see a girl and you think she really does have really nice breasts?
well, just
What's the
keep it
best
to
way?
yourself.
You just ignore it. You just don't
Yeah,
tell.
it's a problem. No, she has nice breasts. You're not gonna be the first person who tells her that. But if you like her otherwise, not just her breasts, you can just come up to her and say something about the way she moves, about her hair, about her eyes, about her outfit. And remember, girls love details. So
Yeah,
go into details. Don't just say you look nice because this is boring. Everybody says so.
yeah,
Say something really detailed about her look because I'm sure she put a lot of effort into getting dressed up and everything before the party. So just
yeah.
say something nice.
Show you've got an attention to detail and that you're actually paying attention to her.
Yeah,
Is that what you?
and
Yeah,
you will sound very different from most guys if you choose something special about her. For example, you can comment on her perfume, on her voice, the way she moves, the way she talks, or maybe the way she laughs. And it has to be sincere, so just choose something you really like about her. It can be anything, like it can be even her hands, her bag, her shoes, like totally anything. But don't make it sexual right away.
yeah, certainly. That makes a lot of sense. I bet you hear the same kind of things just so many times from guys. Like guys really don't understand how much girls get approached with the very, very similar things all the time because girls hardly ever approach us, so we hardly ever experience it.
So I wouldn't recommend using pickup lines because most of them just sound so silly, and
Yeah,
there is a big chance she heard them many times before.
yeah, that's right. Even just like normal things like "Hey, nice ass" and things like that. Girls here, I mean, I bet.
That's normal. That's a bit, that's a bit cheap. It wouldn't impress anyone.
Yeah, exactly. It's cheap, and she's heard it 100 times before.
I think you should make a personal compliment, personal and polite, nothing sexual to
Yeah,
start. And then there is a big chance she will pay attention to you and she will like you because, well, that's not what she usually hears from guys. And she
yeah.
will,
So straight away, she's gonna be interested because you're a bit different.
yes.
Yeah, cool. Good answer. Okay, you also mentioned the importance of good hygiene. How can guys get more self-respect and take better care of themselves in this area?
Okay, I think taking better care of yourself is quite easy. Just keep it up. Take a shower every day. Take a shower before you meet the girl, before you go to bed with her. Don't just think that taking a shower like once every second day is enough. And I feel a bit silly talking about this because well, it's obvious, right? But then you'd be surprised to know how many guys don't actually follow this advice. Well, they don't think it's important enough. They don't have as a strong sense of smell as we girls have.
That's a
So
big thing. That is a
yes,
big thing.
so they
Until you've lived with a girl or spent a lot of time with a girl, you really don't realize just how sensitive sense of smell they've got.
you're used to your smell. Plus, you're not so sensitive. A lot of girls, they're
Exactly.
really much more sensitive than guys. So you just don't feel it. You feel everything is fine, and for her it won't be. And it can be a very big turn off. I
Yeah.
had it
So, what do you think
once.
causes it in guys? Why do you think that? Why do you think it's not a big, important part of their life to, have really good hygiene?
Hmm. Good hygiene, it usually goes with taking good care of your looks.
Yeah.
It's usually girls on our side who take better care of their looks to get hygiene and everything. And for guys, they think it's just enough to put on a t-shirt and go. And no,
Yeah.
that's
So, do you think it's tied to if guys, if they have higher self-esteem and make the best of what they've got and stuff like that? It goes in hand with that. Do you think?
I'm sorry.
If in order, what am I trying to say? I think good hygiene goes um, with a guy feeling like he's worth putting the effort in for himself. Does that make sense? Like if you don't really care much about your appearance, you're a lot less likely to, have a good haircut all the time, shave, and just generally, have good hygiene and look good. Where,
Absolutely. Just look at successful people you know. Either successful people you know or just famous people. Just look at them. They always look perfect. I'm
yeah,
sure
that's it.
they stink. They wear clean clothes. They they look perfectly taken care of. You don't have to look absolutely polished, but there are several things um, you should never forget about. You should always take showers, use deodorants, probably shoe deodorants if you have a problem. And like I said in my book, even if you think you don't have a problem, still use a shoe deodorant because it probably stinks anyway. And it's another thing girls really, really notice, but she just might be too shy to tell you, but it will turn her off right away because, well, we're very sensitive about smells.
Yeah,
It just
definitely. And even if you get everything else right and you're amazingly confident and perfect and you compliment her subtly and you aren't overtly sexual, if you've got bad breath or you smell or something, that's just it, isn't it? That's game over.
exactly. And it goes another way as well, the opposite way. If you smell clean, if you just basically smell like yourself, just fresh, and add a bit of sexy perfume, it's so arousing. You can't imagine. Smells are really important.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so final question. Well, penultimate question. My favorite part of your book is where you mention that all girls, no matter how self-confident they appear, all have some level of insecurity hidden below the surface. I thought that was a really good revelation. How can guys get past the persona and through to the real girl deep down?
I think the main rule is talk to her. Be open, be friendly, and just talk to her, listen to her. And don't just concentrate on how gorgeous she is and how you want to get into your bed and how you want a relationship with her. But try to imagine that, make her feel that she's important to you. Make her feel like you care. Make her feel like you're a good friend. And try to feel that she's also, first, she's a person, and only then she's a girl that you might have sex relationship later. Um,
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there with saying, you remember she's a person. She's not just this piece of meat in front of you. She's not just a body. There's a real person in there, and it's all about just if you open up, then she'll open up as well. If you're more honest, she'll be more honest. People are just like that. If we reciprocate with what we encounter. So
Another thing is that girls really love talking about themselves. So if you give her this opportunity, she will just love you. She will love being around you, and she will want it again. She will miss you so much. Just let her talk about her life. Ask her about her parents. Ask her about her childhood, her hobbies, maybe even her previous relationships. But it really depends because not everybody likes talking about it. Ask her about everything she likes doing. Just ask her about everything that is not related to sex and to a possible relationship with you so that she can just talk freely about anything she feels like. And then after this meeting, she will feel like she got such a good friend and she just got something really important in her life. And soon after that, she might start paying you a lot, even
yeah,
if
definitely.
otherwise she wouldn't.
Do you think there's I was going to ask you about this. You reminded me. Um, when I think it's a really good idea to ask girls a lot of questions. Do you think there's a line with which you can go too far if you're just talking about her all the time and you never talk about yourself at all?
Yes, of course, because if you only talk about her, she might assume that you have something to hide,
Yeah.
that you have like a family of 3 children waiting for you. Or something like that. Yes, of course, you should talk about her because you want to seem friendly and open and like you're basically a reliable person. You have nothing to hide. So, yes, of course. But don't worry, it will come naturally because if she's a sensible girl, she will talk about herself and she'll be very happy talking about herself. Then after a while, she'll ask about you, and then you can also say something about your life and just be natural, be yourself, and it will all come to you.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it, just being natural and going with the natural flow of the conversation. Don't really try and steer it too much in one direction or the other, because you'll find as you're talking, you'll be reminded of things that have happened to you or stories about you and things like that, and you can just tell them as and when they crop up in natural conversation. Yeah, brilliant. Good answers. Okay, finally then, Ava, where can we find out more about you and your book?
Okay, you can go to my site. It's www.thedreamlifebooks.com.
So
And there,
thedreamlifebooks.com.
yes,
Yeah.
and there you can find some articles you can read, and you can find an interview with me. You can find a description of the book and all the links where you can buy it from. You can either buy it from the site, or if you don't trust such sites, because there are so many, you can buy it from Amazon.
Yeah, cool. And it's a very good book. Like I said, I've read it. I got a lot of value out of it. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's really, I've also read some of the articles on your site as well. I really like that one about confidence, loud and quiet confidence. That was really good. Really, really good.
I will never stop talking about confidence because it's if you have to choose just one single thing that will absolutely improve your life with girls or your career or anything, it will be confidence for girls and for guys and anyone.
Yeah, I completely agree. I've been telling guys this for a long, long time as well. Confidence, confidence, confidence. You can almost throw everything else out and just do confidence on its own. And if you try enough times just being confident, you will succeed. So yeah, completely on the same page in that regard. Thanks ever so much for your time, Eva. That was really good.
Thank you.
I hope you had fun. And well, you can go and finish the rest of your beers now and get really drunk, like most people do on a Monday night.
Yeah. Hope you'll have fun as well.
Yeah, thanks.
And just
Okay.
don't go offline yet. I still want to talk to you a bit in
Yeah, no,
private.
that's fine. Let me just stop the recording then.